that coming up in a moment.
Recording in progress. All right. Thanks for coming, guys. All right. So, yes, I picked the right. So I always get confused, right? So anybody, put your hand up if you know what this thing is here. No, because you're on. You do. Jeff, come on, for God's sake. All right. So the online guys don't. So we haven't brought this into here. One of the things that we've been working on, Jeff Summers, you should know what it is. You're a team leader, mate. One of the things we've been working on since probably the conference is creating an educational part to Be Connected, not to take away from what Jeff Hetherington does, but to create an ethos, to create an operating standard. And what we have is we have what we call the reputation loop. And it's basically how we built this company from scratch, me forking out $100 a week to keep the company running, to now we've got 287 members around the country. We've got the CRM. We've done that on a grand total of $247 worth of Facebook ads over 5 years, right? How did we do it? We did it. It's about building reputation, because at the end of the day, and Jeff Summers will attest to this, right? People will not give you money unless they trust you. All right. Get rid of that. All right. Your reputation is what gets people to buy from you. Do you want to let Brenda in, please? So the reputation loop is a framework that we started to deliver in our face-to-face meetings. We have trainings coming out. We're also going to be taking this out on the road. And the framework is very, very simple. It's a 7-step process to make you the expert in your industry. All right. And the first one is nice and simple. I'm not going to go through all of them because I just want to pick on one today, right? But the basic steps are simple. First of all, you've got to learn, all right? You have to know everything about your industry. You got to know what's new and what's coming through, right? So as an example, I look at Karen. Karen, you've got to know what grants are available. You've got to know what the easiest ones are. Some grants will have different things you've got to do to others. So you've got to work on that. Faith, you've got to find out about all the it's not OH&S, it's WHS now, but and there's all this psychosocial stuff coming out. You've got to constantly stay on top of what you're doing. Ross, you've got to keep on top of what is happening in the sales world, new sales tactics. Brenda, you're the same. Ange, you've got to be looking at safety as well, right? So we're constantly got to be learning, but knowing it is not enough. What you have to be able to do is you need to be able to tell people that you know it. And that doesn't mean just stand here and tell people that you know it. You've got to choose specific platforms to let people know, right? So you've got to learn it, you've got to teach it, you've got to have the right resource. Now, when we talk about teaching, I'm trying to rush through this, right? So warning, I get passionate about this. If I drop the F-bomb, it's nothing personal. It's just what I do. All right. I'll give the warning now. So you've got to teach it. How are you going to teach it? And there's lots of different things that you can do to teach it, because if people don't know you're the best, you're the world's best kept secret. Okay. So you've got to look at the resources, and those resources are things like, do you do Facebook posts, Facebook lives? Do you use LinkedIn as your main channel? Do you do webinars? Have you got landing pages? All of that stuff that's out there, so that you can actually take what you've learned and what you are teaching and get it out to people. Next step is you need to have a network. All right. If you've got nobody following you on Facebook, you're not going to do Facebook lives. All right. You've got to try and build your network. You've got to go out to networking events, and that leads you then into inviting. You need to become a super connector. The easiest way to gain a good reputation and build a bigger network is to introduce two people that don't know each other. And that's what we're going to cover now. But as we just quickly jump on, you've got to invite. Once you've done all of these, that's the 5 steps. The 6th step is your reputation. This is a bucket that fills that you cannot control. You can control who you connect. You can control the resources. You control what you learn and how you teach it. You can control your network, but you can't control your reputation. But your reputation is where people will give you the money. So if you do the 5 steps first, the 6th step comes naturally. The 7th step is repeat. You never stop doing it. Okay. You don't give it a go for 3 months and then go, oh, it didn't work. It takes years and years and years. We started this process Oh, because January the 21st, 2021. All right. I'm not going to do that. Right. But we started nearly 5 years ago and got to where we are today with no ad spend by utilizing this system. What I want to talk about today is Invite. Invite, as I said, is the single biggest thing. You can invite people and your reputation will go up. You don't need to learn. You don't need to teach. You don't need resources. You're just in a network and you need to connect people. There's a lot of people out there you hear call themselves super connectors. I cringe. I hate the word. I think those people that call themselves, does anybody in the room call themselves a super connector? Thank God for that. I think they're tossers. All right. I think you are so far up yourself calling yourself a super connector. Yeah. You don't, if you are a super connector, you don't need to tell people that you're a super connector. You just live it. You just be it. Okay. So I've got a quick 5-minute presentation to explain about all the different types of introductions that you can do. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go share. We're going to go that one, share. All right, everybody see the presentation? Come on, come on, come on. Is it up?
Yep, there now.
Yep, beautiful. All right. So mastering the art of strategic invitation. And you have to be strategic about this, okay? If you really want to damage your reputation, you introduce two people that have absolutely nothing to do, nothing similar with each other. There is no reason to introduce them. Who gets emails from people, show of hands, from, I'd like to introduce you to this person, and you haven't got a clue why you're being introduced to them? I get them all the time. I'm like, really? I don't have time for this. Yeah, I don't even know why you're introduced. So you have to be strategic when you introduce people. All right. So credibility, it's the quiet currency of business. As I said, we have the reputation loop. Probably the most important part, as I said, is your network and the actual invite. Our company originally was called Network Educate Invite. All right. It is a cornerstone in building your reputation. And it's a compounded return. Okay. You start to introduce the right people to the right people, you will start getting introduced to the right people. People will start saying, this is the person you need to be talking to. And I'm going to use as an example. So we have our CRM arm that's called Be Connected Boss, which is, I always get that wrong. It's up that side. Okay. All right. So Boss is our Be Connected operating system. It's basically our CRM. Now, we sponsor on the Central Coast a local networking group. We can't sponsor them as Be Connected because we're sort of competition, but they're happy to take my money as a CRM. Most people in that room know who I am. And I was at a networking event of theirs. This was about a month ago. And I was just sitting up the front, minding my own business, going through the meeting. And there were two visitors in the room, and they got approached by the president and by the treasurer to ask them if they would like to join that networking group. They spoke to them, and both the president and the treasurer said, oh, you need to talk to Jay. And they brought them over to my table to talk to me. I never asked them to. They just did. This is an opposing networking group bringing people to come and talk to an opposing networking group owner. I sat there. I was gobsmacked that that actually happened. And I asked the treasurer and who are both members of Be Connected, well, by the way, why did you bring them over? Because you know everybody. Boom. Great. That's where you need to be. So apparently out there, some people think I've got a good reputation. Some people think I'm an idiot, right? But the reputation that is out there is, I hate to say it, Jay's a super connector and he can connect you to the right people. And I can, because if I can't, I know enough people who can. And I'm happy to do those second level introductions. So it builds your reputation and it's the highest level of influence in business. It's not about who you know. It's not about what you sell. It's who you know who knows somebody else. So as we go through the reputation loop, it's a self-reinforcing cycle, right? So this connects step 5. It's the invite. This is the exact moment that you transition from being a standard networker into, I can't think of another phrase for it, right? But it's when you become a super connector. We've all been to networking groups where people come up and all they throwing cards at you. They're grabbing cards off you. All right. You tend to go to a lot of free physical networking groups and it's full of sharks and hunters. We try and avoid that at Be Connected. Can't keep them all out. But what we look for are the people that are looking to actually make connections and help the people in the room. The best thing you can do by helping people in the room, believe it or not, is not give them a job. It's not work with them. It's about introducing them to 5 other people that can work with them. It's a lot better resource to them to get somebody who can connect them to the right people, connect them to affiliate partners, referral partners. I always say a referral, it's a meal. An introduction to a referral partner is a meal ticket. Okay. So as we go through, inviting is serving, it's not selling. We all hate it when somebody's trying to sell to the room. Okay. So your standard networkers, they're in there for short-term personal gain. They're coming in. What can I get out of this? All right. They're trying to sell to people. They just want to build a massive list and put you on their mailing list. And they're trying to chase credibility. They're trying to buy reputation, and they don't realize reputation comes through just doing the right thing and following the right process. You want to be that super connector, you got to have that long-term mutual goodwill. This, we've already said it, strategic invitations, right? You've got to have a decent connection. In the 90-day networking plan, which is available to the members in their training courses, right, we talk about strategic invitations. So it's not just about inviting people into a room. It's about doing referrals. It's about connecting people. It's about outreach, all right? I'm going to give everybody here a little bit of homework. All right. By next week, I don't know whether I'll be here. So, Alan, note this down. I want you to check on this next week. I want every person in this room to reach out to 3 people they have not connected with for 2 months. Just a nice, warm email saying, hey, I haven't spoke for ages. I found this, and give them a resource, whether it's a website you think might interest them or it's a PDF that is going to help their business. Yeah. Do that to 3 people by the next meeting. One of them will come back and rekindle a relationship that you thought was dead. All right. You've got to curate. This is networking synergy. This is about working together, and it builds your credibility. If you've got 3 dead contacts in your contact list and one of them comes back to life just because you've gone, hey, I know you're in sales. Have a look at this. And you send them through a copy of the bank thing. I think, oh, what's this bank thing? Great. I'll introduce you to Ross. Bang. Everybody wins. And it's a 30-second email to an old dead contact. So there's all these different things that you can do to become a super connector. All right. Every introduction then creates a ripple effect for the good of it. All right. So as we said, if they respond and they go, I like that resource, you look good to them and you look good to the person you're about to introduce them to. All right. We all know BNI. We all know Ivan Miser. All right. Keith Ferrazzi. Was Keith Ferrazzi Never Eat Alone? What was his book? It was something like that. It was Never Eat Alone or something like that, right? Their entire global movements were built on one concept, and it's 3 words. No, it's 4 words. I'm an idiot, right? It's 4 words. Can anybody tell me what those 4 words are that you need to say to everybody at a networking event? Anybody? I'm waiting for Alan. He knows them.
Let me help you. How can I help you?
There you go. That's the one. How can I help?
That's why I wasn't saying anything. I was waiting for everybody else to jump in.
So now you know it. We talk about it all the time, right? How can I help is the one question that will build your credibility no end. Because if you can't help, they're not going to be disappointed because somebody else might be able to help them. But if you can, you're the go-to person. Yeah. I'm looking, how can I help? I really need to talk to people in the industry. Great. I know 3 people. All right. Tell me specifically why you want to be connected to them, and I'll do an email introduction. And make sure when you do that email introduction, you put why. Remember we said you get these emails introducing you to people and you have no idea why. All right. I do it occasionally at networking. When we've got a small group, I want to know who you are, what you do, who you'd like to be connected to, and why. Because if I know why, I can do a good quality strategic introduction to the right people. All right. So when you make a thoughtful introduction, the person you introduce feels valued, the receiver feels supported, and your name becomes the dynamic link. Go. All right. 4 avenues of doing this. It's not just about getting people in the room. All right. Host your own events. Ross, you're a super connector. You might not really do those introductions yourself, but how many people do you get in BRM? 16?
Yeah, 16.
There's 16 introductions you're doing every second Wednesday. Yeah? Host your own events. And I'm not talking about running networking events. Host a catch-up. You know business owners in the area, right? You don't want the hassle of trying to set up a directory for a network. You don't want to build a... Believe me, you don't want to build a networking group. Jesus Christ, it's not as easy as it looks, right? There's so much stuff going on in the background. But get together with a coffee, right? We had a group at, what's it called? Tugun, which is on the south end of the Gold Coast, right? Wasn't financially viable for us to keep that group open. But you know what they did? They still get together once a month for a coffee outside of Be Connected World, right? That's perfect idea of keeping those introductions going. Do online stuff, right? Do an online hub. Great way to do this. Remember, we were talking when we go back through the reputation loop, right? And you want to teach what you've learnt, and you need to find a product that's going to do that, right? What's your avenue? Are you going to do Facebook Lives? Are you going to do LinkedIn? Are you going to do webinars? Host Zoom events. This is how we started. We started having educational sessions on 4 o'clock every Wednesday, non-salesy, that weren't about networking. And eventually we turned them into networking, all right? These online hubs are a gold mine. They really are, all right? Personal introductions, we've already covered that, all right? So I have a resource for you, or Ross is asking to speak with somebody in the safety. Here's Faith, bang, bang, bang. There's the reason I'm putting you together. And here's a good one, content collaborations, okay? Do a podcast or a webinar with somebody who has the same type of customer as you, but doesn't compete. I'll use it as most people here have heard of Michael Griffith, right? Michael Griffith, I have so much time for that bloke, right? He's a long-term fan of Be Connected World, and we're a long-term fan of his, right? A perfect example of a content collaboration would be Michael Griffiths and Alan Stevens. They share the same customers, but they don't compete with what they do. So if they were to do a content collaboration, all of a sudden, Alan's client base and potential customers also that get invited also get to see Michael. And Michael's database gets to see Alan. All right. So doing this is the same. I've said it before. This is about referral partnerships, affiliate partnerships. There's no reason you can't do it with content. Do a joint Facebook Live together, right? Just do an event where you can introduce each other to each other's customers as long as you don't compete. All right. We went backwards. I'm pressing the wrong button. Here we go. All right. Just like everything, it's discipline. All right. Just like the reputation loop is 7 steps and you must follow those steps. All right. There is a discipline. All right. I should have said 5. I've got 5 written down here. All right. Up it. Your homework's now 5. All right. I didn't check my, I wrote this about 3 days ago for somebody absolutely completely different. And I decided I was going to write today and I forgot to said 5, right? 5 check-ins with people that you haven't spoke to. I'll make it easier for you. You haven't spoke to them for 45 days. You haven't spoke to them. You haven't emailed them. 5 people just to say hello, congratulate them on a win. Sit on Facebook even, all right? And when you see somebody has a win, comment. Please stop liking shit on Facebook, all right? Comment. If you want to help somebody who's a friend in business on Facebook, liking their post does nothing. The algorithm changed 2 years ago. Okay? Comment. Because as soon as you comment, everybody in your network sees that you've commented on that. And because more and more people are then starting to see it, the algorithm kicks in and Meta shows it to more people. All right. So check in, whether it's an email, whether it's a phone call, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Facebook, just do a check-in. All right. Out of those 5 check-ins, I want you to introduce 2 thoughtful, mutual alignment introductions. All right. So have a think. Who do I know that share the same customers but do not compete? Okay. Spotlight. Has anybody here not got a Facebook account? Has anybody here not got a LinkedIn account? All right. Spotlight's simple. Share their posts on your feed. Nice and simple, right? I do it all the time. I'm lucky, right? Because I own like 7 Facebook groups and we have the Be Connected page and I've got a personal profile and a business profile. I've actually got set aside in my diary every morning for 10 minutes. I go through my feed and I share my clients' posts. Yeah. And I comment on it. I've actually 10 minutes. That's it. Oh, it's done. Again, all of a sudden you get noticed. If you actually look at if you go onto the Be Connected World Facebook group, you'll actually notice I engage with conversations with many of these people, right? That really kicks it in and people go, oh, these guys know what they're talking about, all right? And try and attend one new event every fortnight. And once you've attended that one new event, whether it's a free online, whether it's a face-to-face, whether it's a coffee catch-up, whether it's a webinar, anything where you can meet people. And then what I want you to do when you've attended that event is, guess what? You're going back to the first one and you're going to start checking in with them and you're going to start making introductions. So the reputation loop is your 7 steps. This is the invite part of it, and inside it there are 4 steps. There are many steps inside there, but this is the core framework of how you get that. This is your final step to build your reputation. Yeah, like I say, it's the one that actually stands alone. All right. So the ethics of connecting, demand mutual value. I don't know why I put this in there because we've already covered it, right? Never introduce people blindly. All right. One careless connection can damage with 100 good ones built. All right. Like I said, I see this stuff coming through. If you connect people that have no value in connecting, you've just sent them spam. Literally, that's what you've done. You've sent them an email that's spam that they're just going to go straight to the bin. Simple as that. All right. And we all hate spam. All right. So before you hit the send, make sure there is an undeniable value to both of them. All right. This protects your reputation. It protects their reputation. All right. Lead integrity rather than volume. All right. And this is the last slide. All right. So normal networkers that are out there, they live in that left-hand world. All right. It is all over the place. They are opportunists. We all know them. I'm going to use as a perfect example. Most, not all, but most network marketers live in that left-hand side. Yeah. They have a squillion connections, but don't know who does what. They don't know how to connect them. They have no structure. They just know that I need 1 million connections. When you start any network marketing firm, they say, what's the first thing they say? Write down 100 people that you know. Write your list. Yeah? Stupid. It should be write down 10 people that you know that will benefit from this product. All right? But that's not the way that they work. They work on volume. The more numbers that you've got, the better chance that you've got that somebody someday will want to connect with you properly. I hate that model. All right. There's so many businesses out there still do it. The model on the right-hand side, it is structured, and this is an ecosystem that you live through. So, guys, any questions?
Just unmute, put your hands up if you've got questions, and let's go with it. Dr. Ann.
Dr. Ann.
It was actually really validating, Jay. Thank you, because I am in the MLM model.
Some do. That's why I said some. I know you are, and I said some.
Yeah. No, but I'm a bit of an outlier in
Yeah.
my MLM model. And sometimes I have gone, am I like it feels right to me being on that structured,
Structure.
I connect that, where it's going to make a difference, it's going to be a win-win, add value.
Successful network marketers, and I know a lot of them. I used to sell Isogenics, for Christ's sake, right? And I made a fair amount of money, but of course I did because I understood structure, right?
Mm.
But successful network marketers, by the time they make it successful, are on the third or their fourth company, right? You see it all the time. They're with Isogenics, right? And they go, oh, we can get a deal if we all move everybody over to Medea, right? Then Medea goes under, so then they move to another one, right? And the reason it gets better every time, it's not because of the company, it's not because of the product, it's not because of the commission structure. It's because by the time they get to their third company, they've already built the foundation of the structure because they're bringing people with them. Yeah. So the structure is the key thing. People that are successful in network marketing have a structure. The ones that don't have a structure, they'll give it 6 to 12 months and they go, well, that didn't work. That was a waste of time. Yeah. So
I'm 23 years in now, so
yeah. So you're obviously doing
to
the
the
right
one
thing.
company. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because you're a person of structure. And what I'm going to rephrase this, right? I don't actually consider what you do network marketing because you're selling a value proposition. You're saving money, right?
Yeah.
You are not selling health shakes, protein shakes. What other stuff's out there, guys? That all of this stuff, right? That to me is network marketing. What you do, yes, you're part of an affiliate structure, but ACN, it's not network marketing. It's structured because they are. I don't know if you are ACN.
Yeah.
But
ACN and Connection are the same.
you are
Yes.
ACN, right? Yeah. ACN, it's a specific structure, and you are providing not a product, you are offering a service. And to me, that's not network marketing. Jeff, would you agree with that? I mean, Mr. Hetherington.
Yeah, I would. I mean, pretty much that. I mean, look, we've all done it. I mean, God, I did the Amway thing back in the days when you used to invite people over and draw circles on whiteboards.
That's network marketing. That's network marketing. The company, if you can't say the company name, it's network marketing. Right?
Yeah, so that's but there's also those ones out there that sell you magical elixirs,
snake oil.
Single product item, magical elixirs and all that sort of stuff, or self-development courses where there's 17 different tiers you've got to work your way through. There's all that sort of stuff. I mean, I will agree with you. One of the things that Dr. Am's doing through Connection is literally giving you something that's meaningful and shows real results in your life. So yeah.
Well, I should have hit the stop before earlier on. You might have to edit the video, so I'll kill the thing now. But